Now, to help us better understand the broader issues of tax obligations and possible evasions, I'm joined by Godfrey Okanse, Executive Director of Revenue Mobilization Africa. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Okay. First of all, we've heard of what is happening. Some do not really understand when it comes to tax responsibility, tax obligation. Tell us about it.
Right from the agreement, from the discussion we're having, start point is, let me on a lighter note say I'm a Shatta fan myself.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the lost master.
He has a lot of fans, not too much about that.
So, yeah, but then the truth is that,
right.
we bless the industry. I mean, the music industry is one industry that makes a lot of money for countries like America, Europe. You go there, those people are very rich, and Ghana is not an exception. But the amount of the vehicle, exactly, that's some $150,000, okay?
Right.
He purchased from somebody. Right. And if he has doubts of even where he will find the person now, and the transaction has no proper evidence, you can see clearly from the point of purchase, we've lost some taxes.
Right.
So, I mean, what shows that person even declared what he received from Niama, which is $150,000.
Right.
Automatically, he's purchasing a vehicle at $150,000. We bless God for helping him. But then let's look at the tax obligation. How did he pay the taxes over that purchase, actually? And whoever received that money, the person paid taxes, meaning we are looking at losing some revenues around that area already. Tax and the assets that you have, you have to be taxed on the assets you have. So that vehicle, worth $150,000. I mean, show me one poor person or a middle-income person or even a low-income person who can use a Lamborghini, Bentley, Maybach. Exactly, that qualifies him to be among some respected people. I will give you the respect. I mean, that's where we call them the high-income earners. You cannot be earning 10,000 Ghana cedis and buy a Lamborghini. I mean, that's a joke already. Right. So, I mean, that tells you the cost of the vehicle, tells you he's a high-income earning person. So you need to quickly go and check whether he's honoring his obligation as a high-income earner. Okay. That's one of the discussions we can have already. Right. But once we take to this discussion of purchasing the car at $150,000, having to discuss with whether the person also paid taxes over what sales they made, we've lost some revenues. That's a wake-up call to the GRA to ensure that maybe these car dealers go through proper sales points and they are registered and everything else. And then also the vehicles that we are working on the streets. Are we checking how the persons got these vehicles? I think the custom officials are on the road doing every day. I think we should urge them to do more. But this will lead us onto a discussion about an early discussion we have on the table, which is still going on, right, about luxury taxes on vehicles. Initially in 2019, when some of us projected and proposed the taking of luxury taxes, I think government heard, but they rushed to the table without us. Okay. So they placed the taxes on the engine capacity of the vehicle and not the make of the vehicle as we envisaged. Okay. So that's when they started luxury tax, and then we had vehicles like the Bola cars and other old patrols with engine capacities of 4.3 roping in that bracket. That was unfortunate. But what we were saying are that these persons who own these cars are automatically high-income earners. But we should move forward and look at the initiative of making the rich pay more. That's the principle of taxes. The rich must pay more, middle-income earners must pay in the middle brackets, and then the low-income earners will pay a little. And then, if possible, there should be a threshold where some people who earn very low must be freed. Okay. Tax-free threshold. Right. I mean, you can, in the Ghana we live today, if the threshold is around 490 to free people from paying taxes, it doesn't look real. Right. If you are paying somebody 1,000 Ghana cedis and they have 2 children and a wife, I mean, they can't even survive. So, I mean, you should raise the threshold a little bit. But moving forward with our discussion, this income earners, when it even comes to social services, look at East Legon, where Charles Niama lives, and his range of people live. Yeah. Within 2016 to 2020, they had seen road only of twice, where the police station is that area and the top breaks into two. Meanwhile, communities around them, when you go beyond to where local government institute is behind to Medina areas, some communities have not even seen a first lay. When it comes to even water, basic water, yeah, you and I who live with water in our houses and it flows, we have the luxury of paying monthly. Sometimes you can even delay or not pay for 2-3 months. But the poor people, the very poor people, actually have to pay per day. 1 bucket, you pay. Yeah. So moving forward, the discussion of this, taxes on luxury vehicles, I think this is the time when we've removed our toll booths and we are bringing back the road tolls. In bringing it back, I've proposed, and I'll keep saying, we should move the road tolls to the DVLA point, where actually vehicle income taxes for commercial vehicles are paid. Let's take the road toll there and make sure everybody else pays. It gives us the opportunity to rather properly arrange and make it progressive. In the progressive bracket, the people who earn more, who owns the Lamborghinis, the Bentleys, the Maybachs, they pay more. I mean, you look at the vehicle, the worth of it, and have maybe because of it's a starting point, just have some cut-off for all of them so that they'll pay one-off payment for their luxury vehicles and then give them proper service. You know, I mean, when they are using the Maybachs and the luxury vehicles like that, let's give them some A-class services. I mean, maybe if even we have our staff to move to them instead, like the arrows do for the banks. Right. And I proposed, and we fought for it for the GRA. Let the GRA and other tax administrators, I mean, go to them in their confines, their offices, their houses, and then give them A-class services. Take more from them, give them best services, and make sure they pay what they have to pay, just to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. Right. All over the world, you cannot expect those down there and those up there to pay the same time. It will be very regressive a system. But I think, honestly, whilst the discussion, the criminal side should be our side. Right. But I'm looking at it from the 150,000 worth of a vehicle, and whoever sold it, we can't even identify the person.
Right. Right now, we can't identify who actually bought that from, and that is a problem. It's
a problem.
Right. So, you know, when people are going to buy vehicles or stuff, what should they really do in identifying who they buy it from? Because you can't tell me you bought a car and then you don't know the person you bought it from. Then that is not a good source for you to
You see, we have a free market running in the country. So you go to Circle, you can buy a laptop, you know, I mean, just by the roadside, the gentleman that you're buying. But we should have a system to properly control. You know, once you take earnings from them, how do you straitjacket them? It tells you how the informal sector, people are selling large things there. When you talk about the informal sector, my dear, people think we are talking about those who are, without due respect, we're not talking about those who are just selling pens and PK or maybe, I mean, we're talking about a sale of a vehicle because of not properly arranging. Somebody has bought a vehicle at the cost of $150,000 and he has not gone through proper checks. So, I mean, we cannot even track the person. Yeah. But if there was a system where all the car dealers have registered, and if you have to sell a vehicle, you have to get some cheats or documentation before you sell the vehicle off, then you cannot, I mean, you cannot buy a vehicle in America or buy a house in America without going through proper systems where the government will get their own tax. You can do that deal on the side, but when you are whooped in, you don't forget that day. Yeah. So I think we should have that discussion today. I mean, beginning from this one, let's see the cost of the vehicle and look at the importance of ensuring that high-income earners pay taxes that they are due to pay. I mean, let's have an arrangement. Let's have a discussion.
Right. But, I mean, in having that discussion, you know, we're talking about the government losing a lot of money because taxes are not being paid, and we are told that some buy some of these things, especially vehicles, from the street, and we are unable to tell how, moving forward, how can the government now look at, you know, more or less checking these things so that when people buy things, they are able to pay their tax, whether they buy it on the street or whatsoever. Can they put measures in place for this?
So a lot of it has to do with mass education. People must even know. Some people are even buying the vehicles. They look at their side of a deal. I mean, they're getting the good deal of a vehicle. I mean, they need the vehicle. It's coming at a very good cost. That's not where you're going to be standing and asking the person, are you going to pay taxes of what I'm buying? But indeed, there should be mass education about it, and there should be systems in place where if I'm buying from you, for my own safety. For example, this one, I mean, this should be a lesson point. I mean, he bought the vehicle with the trust that he's gotten a deal, which is $150,000. Yeah. Maybe comparatively, when you hear $150,000, you think it's very expensive. Yes. But for a vehicle like Lamborghini, I mean, that should be more than that. So he got a good deal. And he followed the aspect of business as in getting a good deal than, you know, going for safety. So now that vehicle over there, they are looking at it and they want to take it from him. But if he had a receipt and the person was a car dealer, he just offloads the trouble by just giving the receipt and showing where he bought it from. So this is what we have to do. GRA must look at the informal sector and give it a second eye again. Those who are dealing and selling properties. These are assets. You know, and you look at it as a moving object. You say, oh, this is just a car. But $150,000 is a house. Right. You know, that's the house moving. So, I mean, today, the luxurious apartments you see around, they are selling some at $120,000, $140,000. Very, very well-placed buildings, you know. And if you have a vehicle selling at that point, that's a whole house. These are big assets. And I think the GRA should improve there are ways of, tracking down these. They are doing a lot. Sometimes they stop these luxurious vehicles on the road. I see them on the stretch. They stop these vehicles, check whether they are properly registered. But we should up the game, such that even Ghanaians should be educated more. And when you are buying an asset, this is a vehicle, and this is anything that is worth the weight of your pocket. Make sure you get the right receipting and get the source of sale well registered. Because, you don't lose alone in times like this, but then government is losing a lot of revenue through such deals.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us this
Thanks for
afternoon,
having
Jeffrey.
me.